Hello everyone, this is Cookies. Just woke up again to another turn. So we've got turn 11. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Expansion has slowed down and we've got more player conflict. Man vs. Pyrene is heating up again. We have a lot more Tianchi Patala. And we've got the bump between Tianchi and Sitis that we predicted. Alright. Let's go ahead and go through these in order. This should be pretty easy. As a reminder, the Bless here is Death Weapons and Poison Res. They really do have impressive protection with this Kite Shield. 20 protection with an excellent shield. They're just very difficult to kill. Alright. So they lose 1, but take the province. Then we've got Man attacking Pyrene. The Boar is back on the hunt, killing a little bit of PD. Oh, he's added Misform to his script. I forget if he had it before when he killed the Campion Knights. Then we've got the Tianchi Patala War. Tianchi attacking Rom. Okay, so he's rated out. Okay. Doesn't lose any and kills a couple of heavy cav. Gets attacked on Patala. Let's see how he defends. This is not what I was hoping to see from Patala. But it ends up working, surprisingly. So Budget Force retaking the capital. And Emmerich. Tianchi also with a small force. Not sure why Tianchi pulled off of the capital. Does have another successful raid. All right, then let's go through the tail end of expansion. So we've got some Garthan Knights. He didn't change his formation for the Zots, but got away with it. You can very frequently have your commander sniped. Okay. So takes that. Then we have Atlantis continuing. They push into the lake to their south. Do these guys really have separate movement speeds? Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. So they have a mostly even line. A lot of their guys are poisoned. I'll bring up the squares so you can see that. I think he's going to take a fair amount of attrition here just from the poison. Yeah, that whole bottom part of the line is very poisoned. Woof. Alright. So loses 12 Ice Guard and 2 Sacreds. Taking on 36 Triton Troopers, and that was mostly due to poison. But does get the province. Tianchi moves on the Sacred Lake, has his Ichthids. Should do fine here. These Ichthid warriors are much better than many of the ND underwater troops. So, yeah, loses 4 of them in Sleepy Olds. Big group of Royal Guard. Now, I believe this is the province that Satis was meant to take. But his Black Dragon died on. But now Marignon's taken it. Interesting. With Patala against Tianchi, we've got large number. So this is where the main army goes. And they're going after that PD dump in the farm. Now, every turn that they don't have income, they're losing some of these guys to desertion. So I would have expected this army to move on the capital. And they wouldn't, and this is the last turn that they have the mercs too, because I don't think they would have been able to rebid them. So this move is strange to me, even though it worked. We do have a bunch of Naga warriors here. What's the bless again is some resist, pen bonus, and larger. And these are the Bandar mercs that Tianchi hired. Yeah, I'm confused by this. I don't know why you'd allow... Maybe he did some testing. I don't know why you'd allow Patala to get reestablished like this and kill a fair amount of siege strength. Yeah, 2.3. This is confusing to me. Alright, he goes after Bycliffe. Another small raid. I don't think he needed to go for a starve-out approach against Patala. I think he just needed to kill Patala's army, and Patala was toast. Alright, then we've got the Hidden Realm. So Satis goes after the mercs first, grouping up because it's Zots. Did Victor's Villains really run there? Gosh, they really are disappointing sometimes. Okay, so he's not going to have Victor's Villains available for the main combat. Alright, and then Tianchi shows up with his cav. With the natural protection to bring it up to about 20, and the unaging. I think Tianchi's got this. Oh, he's gonna kill the leadership too. You know, Satis was holding up better than I thought on the front line. That was interesting. So Tianchi does take it. Loses 1 sacred, 9 heavy horsemen, kills the party. I wonder if that would have gone the other way if Tianchi had fought the independents. I think he was pretty close to an HP route on TNG. Then in the halls. Wow, this is greed. Alright, going for some more independent expansion with the cat. I still think you just kill the Patala army. Oh, we have a couple of messages. I'll have to read those. Independent assassin. Independent long dead better than year 3 for long dead. Holy moly. Peneter. Wow. It kills four long dead or soulless or whatever they were. It kills the empoisoner. We've got a villain attack. I think this is one of the attacks you can avoid by having more than one, by having a certain amount of PD. But it does look like they had a fair amount of PD here. Interesting. So it gets attacked by 80 villains, loses a number of crossbows. Alright, 2 messages. Well, that was very unlucky. I wasn't relying on it to win a war, but losing the Dracolich is a blow for sure. Yep. Hi, Cookies. Now with Patala's cap under siege, the damage has been done, but I do not want to lose any more troops than necessary in a bloody capital fight, especially against those Expo mercs. I plan to split up and raid most of Patala's cap circle, while I make a large bid on the Expo merc company in Patala's farmland. Oh, the one you just lost? Okay. Worst case scenario is that Patala calls my bluff and attacks the farmland, canceling my bid on the mercs, which they did. I'm shocked that they did it. I'm betting on the fact that my purchase of the Bandar Band in the farmland convinces them I have a plan to rush down the capital and force them to sally everything they have to break the siege. In other news, since I am sure my early aggression has put a target on my back, I decided this turn to announce to everyone that I plan to be in the neighborhood smith and forge items for whoever wants them as soon as possible, which is true. That way I hope to disincentivize other nations from whacking the leader and dogpiling me. Alright. Let's see. So Agartha's into 2 caves. They just took the steel ovens. Satis is also in 2 caves. TNG is in 2 caves. Marignon's got 2. So 2, 2, 2. And Agartha's at 5. Alright. Now, let's take a look at our player war. So Agartha picks up the mercs. Okay, well I'm sure that works for TNG. But he's still... I don't know. I think he could have killed the Expo mercs. But we'll see. This is definitely a little bit more careful. It is a shame that he didn't raid one of these 2 to collect income. I don't know that TNG can do deep raids. Do they have a tax collector? No. So Patala collects a fair amount of income this turn. And I think this stuff is potentially cut off. The cat went underground. I think this army can just go back to the capital and defend it. Or he could try to catch raiding groups and do a PD dump. Or something. Could split. Hmm. Does have more crossbows on the way. And this is the last turn that we'll probably be doing province counts. No, it's turn 11. I'll skip doing it this turn. I'll do it next turn. This should make the episode a little bit shorter. Maybe a big raid on Bogaton, since you've got 3 groups. Seems a little predictable. I don't know. I think I would have taken the fight on the capital, so I'm curious to see how this works out. And I probably would have brought the cat. Alright. He's also got a fair amount of stuff running around underground. I mean, this can come back. It's pretty beat up anyways. And the cat, I'm not sure if he's going to want to send the cat into cavemen. Not with the current buff script. So the cat should probably come back. And that would be right here, so... I think if you're Patala, you have to keep your Kappa unsieged. Like, even if you lose a lot of this other stuff. And then you try to Diplo against Tianchi. Tianchi does have something going for them in that there seems to be conflict between Man and Pyrene. So it would take Atlantis or Kalem attacking Tianchi. Atlantis is still finishing expansion. Okay, so they actually moved a real army out of their cap into Blue Water to go after these two. Could try to join it with this group and take this and then roll into this. I don't think he wants to go after Triton Guard again alone. Oh, we raided here? Okay. Oh, both of them? Yeah, so he's choking out the income. I mean, if you're choking out the income, you may as well raid the cap, too. That way you prevent recruitment. I mean, it'll kill a little bit of population, but I think that's probably worth it. If you're going for this sort of strategy. Okay. Well, Patala's still toast, but they're less toast this turn than they were last turn. And I think you want to be careful with these raiding groups that, unless you plan to fight the army, because they've already been unpredictable once. I think I'd have this group raid over here, like, into a safe direction. This seems like it would be more income, so I'd raid here and then here. And then I'd have these 3 groups raid Bogaton to threaten the capital again. I mean, you could roll both back onto the capital, but then you risk this group coming back and probably defending it. Are we being greedy with infrastructure? Okay, so we got a fort in Walnut Woods. I forget if we had a fort here in Bara. He's upgrading this. Interesting. I would have just bought more troops. I don't know that you need to upgrade this palisade this turn. Yeah, just flood him with stuff. You don't need the war. The longer you let it drag out, I think the more likely you are to have intervention. I mean, Calem's still finishing expansion. You still have a little bit of time there. Atlantis is still finishing expansion. Pyrene's at war. So you're in a zone, and he may not know it, but I mean, he sees this. He may not know about the underwater for Atlantis. And he may not know about this war. It depends on how good his scouting is. Now for the other war, we've got the boar leading the charge to Nilmeria, followed by a huge army. We've got the rest of the army here. We've got a new army forming in the capital. So I think he plans to just lead with the boar all the way to Pyrene's cap. He's going to follow it behind with a tremendous amount of troops and put Pyrene out pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Pyrene's got most of their Cambion Knights on this cave entrance. They do have one party here. And one party down here, so it looks like they've got effectively, this is like a double party. I think they were planning to go after these cavemen. Yeah, we'll see. I think Kosk is going to be pretty aggressive here. And I'm not sure what Pyrene does about the boar, at least yet. I mean, especially with personal mist form. Flying Shield, Iron Skin, Mist Form. 29 prot. 134 HP with regen. I mean, what do you do about that as Pyrene at this point? He didn't take magic weapons. These guys can occasionally DRN roll through the protection, but it's also got mist form and regen, so it's not, I don't think those guys are going to do it. Maybe with your strength buff at like 22 plus the lance, which is about half of strength. So we've got 19 plus 6. I'm trying to count the strength. So 22, we'll call it 6, it might be 7. So it could be about 28. The knights can hit through, but they'll need to hit the pop mist form. And it's really mostly the lances that have to do the work. Cambion Queen has glamour. So you don't have the air of middle age. Oh, you've got the Sorgina. You could try to do some lightning. Maybe a few air gems on lightning bolts. I forget if there's an early glamour evocation. Ephemeral bolt, that would probably also work for breaking the boar's mist form, because I think once you break the mist form, you at least have a little bit better shot. And ideally, it's lance charges working against HP. But you're probably going to need all these knights. I'm not sure if he's going to realize that. He's going to send these knights underground. 180, 260 troops on their way. Okay. We got a new fort up. Oh yeah, this fort's also going up. Yeah, the forward positioned forts. I think this is going to be real tough for Pyrene. Alright. For Agartha, I mean, they're still just expanding like crazy. Except now they're doing it in the caves. They're going to want to build a fort here. I don't know that this party can kill cavemen. I think you leave your cavemen PD there and you try to fort this. Got a fort going up here, a fort going up here. So he's forward positioning against man. Interesting. It's pretty aggressive fort positioning. Well, I guess he's got one to his west. He's got another one over here. Okay. On the cave entrance. So he's going to have 4 forts. So I think he's just going to want to scale for a few more turns, kind of like Atlantis, who's also got a lot of forts coming up. Looking at Marignan. So we've seen Calum take this. Did he negotiate a favorable border with Calum? Interesting. The Virtue is back home. He doesn't seem interested in either of these provinces. Because he certainly had a few turns to take them. He does take this. This could be provocative to Satis, but he might be planning to attack Satis, especially if he saw Satis's Black Dragon die here. And he might have given the favorable border to Calum to secure a nap. He sees the war down here with Patala. He may have talked to Man and known about this war, so I think Marignan's planning to attack Satis. A royal alchemist. I don't think is that something they can recruit? That they have such a huge mage lineup. Only recruited in the capital. Wonder, what are you doing down here? Is this for shaman? But you don't want to fort it? I mean, it's 11k pop. It's not a horrendous fort. He's got a palisade here. Fort going up in Yellow Mountains. And a fort going up on Questria. Oh, but oh, he's not going to finish these caves. I wonder if that got negotiated with Man. I bet these two have talked. If he's leaving that for Man. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think Marignan's going to plan to attack Satis. This is a very aggressive deployment. Satis is going to put up a fight, though. This is a lot of stuff. And he's gone a scales build. He's not gone like a Tomb Worms Hell scales build with Blood Vengeance. I think this is going to be... He's definitely going to put up a fight versus Marignan. So this has 3 forts. The whole border is getting fortified. He better defend these forts, or it's going to be an absolute disaster. I mean, this looks reasonably defended, but you got to defend these two as well. I think this party needs to come here, and this main group needs to come here, and then you can rotate south if it's a nap ticking down. But Marignan does indeed go after Satis. That leaves... Maybe Caelum's going to help, but Caelum still has to finish expansion. Maybe the negative reputation of Satis is saving Caelum here. Okay, so if Satis gets 2v1'd, potentially, Agartha might choose to just fort up for a bit, especially now that they found steel ovens. Pyrene and Man are fighting, Tianchi and Patala are fighting, and Atlantis might choose to scale a bit because they probably want an underwater fort or two too. 4 gems. Population growth. That's a cool site. It'd be cool if there were more sites like that. Okay. I mean, no one's really thought about going... I mean, we've seen pings on thrones, but no one's actually gone for a throne yet. So there are some folks that could delay their first wars to pick up a throne or two. That's certainly an option. But yeah, I'm liking this aggressive early war stuff, especially before turn 12. You can definitely get a lot of momentum that way. But Patala's going to have to be very careful. They lose their cap again, it's going to be really bad. But if they can hold their cap and catch a raiding party, kind of like what they did here with Sermiak, although they lost another Nagaraja, then I think they'll be in pretty good shape. Tianchi didn't get his Merc bid. So, I mean, that's really going to put him in a bind a little bit, I think. Yeah, I don't know about upgrading this just yet. I would have done more foreign recruit. Interesting. All right, well, we'll have to see how it goes. And I'm looking forward to seeing turn 12 and kind of getting the province counts of everyone. Again, we don't have graphs in this game. Omniscience. My start got a little bugged. It looks like my province got marked as a cave wall by accident. So we're going to have to... That's why I'm taking a little bit more time to look at everything, because we're going to have to keep an accurate bead on game state. We're just going to have to stare at stuff a bit. So I hope you guys will be patient, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.